Hello, Mr. Randy Duck, and welcome back for another episode of Decent Defeats. This time, episode 10. We've got two replays for you today. The first one being in AMX 30b, the Tier 10 French medium tank, and the second one being in the Tier 9 Italian medium tank, the Standard B. So on to the first replay though. We're actually platooned up with our friend Noodleton from Immortals in his Sturm Tiger at the moment. I think he's recently just got, and yeah, we're going to have a good defeat, as the title may say. So initially, I was going to go to the field area, which is how I like to play this map in a medium tank, because once you've won that area, you can collapse on the team, take the map control away, and then usually it's gonna it's only gonna go one way from there. But unfortunately today it didn't look like I had enough support going with me for that to be viable. So I decided I was actually going to pull out of it and go to play the opposite side, which I tend not to play for Mistborn, to be honest with you. In a tank like this, in a medium tank like this, I wouldn't really play this side. But unfortunately, because I didn't have the support, I didn't want to be left on my own on the other side just by myself, so I decided that is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to cut my losses and see what we can do from this sort of area. So I'm trying to push around to see what I can spot. I've got to be careful because there is obviously some nasty TDs like this Death Star on the hill if I get lit, but also there is the Fun Police in the game as well, where you kind of are sitting targets if you do get spotted by the Fun Police, unfortunately, in these sort of scenarios. But I'm going to try and make do with what I've got. So I'll see if I can get any sort of cheeky shots. It does have fairly decent camo, this tank, for a medium tank. And we go and try and put one into that Death Star. Unfortunately, we don't get one in, and we do get lit in return. So just trying to back through into cover to see if we can avoid taking any damage. Trying to rock backward and forward until we lose our spot, which we have. And now we're going to go back for another shot. We go to put one into that T30. We actually do penetrate, but we don't hit the T30. So there must have been something just in front of it which ate the shot for that T30. Because he is overextending so much on this ridge, I really want to try and punish him for it and see if we can just take care of a few of the tanks, because I've noticed there is quite a few enemy tanks pushing down the field area where I pulled out from at the start. And I need to try and win a side so he don't end up getting collapsed in and got nowhere to run. We managed to shut that down, that T30, with the help of our team, getting ourselves 1,000 damage and picking up some assistance. Unfortunately, that Dragon does put one into us, but we're hoping we can be able to get a second one in because he's to aim for another shot. He bounces his second shot and we get two in return. So yeah, it's not been too bad. Just apologise if I'm coughing. I'm getting over COVID at the moment, but I'm through the worst of it. So, but yeah, apologise if I cough during this video. But yeah, as you can see, we're not really making a lot of progress on either side, and I'm getting a little bit concerned that the enemy team are going to come from behind. But there's not a lot I can really do, unfortunately, about that, apart from just trying to keep getting shots in, keep getting the targets detected, and hope that we can just try and shut a few of these tanks down as quickly as possible. That Death Star has got taken out, which is nice because obviously that is a very dangerous tank. We've had an okay start to the game, but it is it's fairly even on the scoreboard. And I'm kind of thinking now maybe I could have played the field area, but I didn't have enough support at the time, and it isn't until later on in the game where a few more tanks have actually moved over. But we're not winning this side either at the moment. And then we're slowly starting to go down on the numbers, but I have managed to pick up a few penetrating shots. I'm just trying to keep the targets spotted for as long as possible while we've got our Fun Police in the game. There's always a chance he's going to one bomb one of these things like this grill or the Cobra, for example, have actually got absolutely no armour. Like the grill's got no armour and the Cobra's got a zero sort of side armour. We managed to get a nice one in through the grill, and then he gets absolutely slapped by Noodleton there, and we put us on just about 2,000 assistance. There's kind of two tanks which I want to get rid of at the moment. It's that Cobra in front of us, and it's this 60 TP. I swapped to the heat rounds to try and deal with the 60TP, because he was on a one shot. Well, I believe he is on a one shot to us now, and we want to try and get rid of any angles as quickly as we can. So he's not quite one shot, he's a two shot to us at the moment. But the enemy team are slowly starting to win the field area as well, and it's not going to be long until they actually end up coming behind us. So the 60TP actually did get slapped by Noodleton there, or I think got HE'd. It is now one shot to us, which is great. We go for the kill shot on the back side of the turret, and although we penned it with APCR earlier, we didn't manage to pen it with a heat, which is a shame. So I swapped to that HE round to see if I could just finish him off, to splash him to death. But before that happens, he actually gets shut down. But that is that tank taken care of now. So we now just got the Yahtzee and the Cobra to contend with over this side. And if we can take care of like the Cobra and this Yahtzee as quickly as possible, then we still got a chance of winning this game. But I'm kind of pushing to try and get the damage in them as quick as I can, because I know we've now lost the field. And unfortunately, this is where I feel like I made a bit of a mistake, because I've just lost quite a lot of hit points there. And I just don't think it was really possible for me to have taken care of that Cobra and that Yahtzee where they were. So maybe I should have just given it up and saved my hit points, because yeah, I've now put myself onto sort of under 700 HP. I was trying to do it for a reason. I was trying to clear them so that I didn't have to fight two sides, but now that's exactly what we're going to have to do. But the E50M is crossing the open. We managed to get a track, which is nice. We're going to immediately turn our attention now to the S button, because that's the most dangerous tank and also the easiest to kill. And we're going to try and just take care of these tanks as quickly as I can while my team's lit them up, because as soon as my team dies in the A12 area, I'm probably not going to have division. So I want to make use of this opportunity to get shots into these tanks while they're in the open. This is why if I was able to have killed that Yahtzee and Cobra behind me, I'll be thinking this is going to be I'll be pretty comfortable getting the win. But unfortunately, because I haven't, now I'm going to have to keep looking over my shoulder, and I can't quite get these shots in. And obviously there is still the enemy fun police as well, which while I'm detected like this, it's far from ideal, because any minute that shell could just be coming straight for me. It's not at the moment. It hasn't really. I haven't really been shot by the R20 this game, which is fortunate. We get a nice shot into Yoho as well. We're trying to get these shots in and keep the resets going, but also, yeah, unfortunately that shot doesn't bounce. I'm not fully aiming it in, because as you see, I've got multiple angles looking at us here. And there's not a great deal I can do about it. Unfortunately, I was hoping to get a shot into that Oho, but it's just behind the cover enough so that I couldn't, unfortunately, get that shot in. And now we're on 390 hit points. We are one shot to some of these tanks in the game, and yeah, that's not ideal. If I could just, I think if I can kill the Yahtzee at the moment, because that's the guy that's got the shots into me. Like, missing that shot there was kind of, it ends up to be crucial in this game, because unfortunately I'm now, that was just at one angle which was a proper threat to me, and I wasn't able to keep Noodleton in the game because of that Cobra earlier. There was pretty much nothing Noodleton could have done about that scenario in that tank. And now I know I'm getting targeted by the Yahtzee. I'm trying to get sort of cover, hold down. Unfortunately, I don't manage to, and that is a big shame, because, like I say, I think if I'd have killed that Yahtzee earlier, I may have been able to go on and win that game, but it wasn't to be. But that is it for the first replay. Like I say, sorry if I keep coughing and stuttering. I'm just on the worst of sort of overcoming the COVID, but I just wanted to get the video out for you. I didn't want to wait too long to not have another video out. But that's it for the first replay. We've got one more to come, so I'll see you over there in a little bit. Okay, so thanks for staying with us. We've got the second and final replay on Ellenberg in the Standard B. Now, unfortunately, as well as having to put up with me coughing, and stuttering throughout this because, like I say, I'm feeling a little bit poorly, I've also got no sound for this one as well. So you literally are just going to have to listen to me speak. So I can only apologise for that. But we do go on to have quite a good game, although we lost, as the series will tell you. So, hopefully you can enjoy that. So we're on Ellenberg. There is no fun police in the game, which is obviously fantastic. And there's actually no light tanks in the game either. Now, somehow we've already lost a 60 TP because they've drowned itself. So that's never a great start. But we spotted this Type 5 heavy crossing, and being that we got no light tanks, I was going to push forward early to spot some tanks and hope that maybe if one of our TDs crest a hill, I might be able to pick up a little bit of assistance. But it hasn't worked out for me, so far, and I'm probably going to try and get out at its location if I can, because I haven't really got any shots where I am really, and I've got no armour, and I didn't really fancy taking one off that Type 5. So I'm going to pull back and try and use this ridge to see if I can get any shots from here. I've got to be a little bit careful because J Panthers has been shut down by this 2684. You can see which I'm aiming in now. But it's got fairly decent camo, the standard B. So I was able to sort of get undetected, but obviously I got detected while I fired. So I'm going to lose my spot and see if I can get maybe it's going to be difficult to pen, but maybe if he shows his lower plate at the right angle, I might be able to get one in. If he sort of stays hold down like he is doing, it's going to be proved to be difficult for me. But I am going to try and just keep everything detected, and I've not really got nowhere else to go at this moment. I managed to get one in. I kind of think in the field and our sort of JK line, it isn't. It's not very well protected, and at the moment the enemies at the 8-9 where I'm fighting now, they're not really pushing us so hard. We have quite a lot of bodies protecting them coming around that corner, so I think it's not really working for me like here at the moment. So I'm going to pull back, go to the field, see if I can spot anything crossing the field, so our TDs can actually shoot them. We've got an S-barn there, and ideally I'd want to catch someone out crossing that field so that I'm able to get shots in. But as I do that, I've noticed these mediums are pushed across into the middle, and surprised I don't get spotted there when I fire, so I actually take a second one, and I look to see if I can dump the clip, and then I wasn't able to, so I'm going to get back bounded to cover. Now obviously with these autoloaders, when you do auto reloaders, when you do dump your clip, your DPM is going to be atrocious. But in this scenario where the tanks are kind of surrounding us on the hill at the moment, I really want to just try and focus tanks to get that damage in, and if it means dumping my clips, so be it, because I want to try and get tanks to low health, because at the moment we're losing on tanks and we're kind of losing all control as well of the map, and I want to try and make sure people on this sort of side that's why I've taken this location now, because now the enemy team, they try and use the other side of the ridge to sort of collapse in on us. I've got side shots into them, as well as obviously I can spot people and push across the JK. But I've got two guns shooting at us. One of this is this Panzerjäger, which has just got detected, and there's something else there which I can't spot. I'm going to see if I can get a spot in, but he's hidden behind a rock, and that thing has fantastic camo, so that's going to be difficult to spot. But this 50T, which I'm guessing is the other gun which potentially was shooting at me, is crossing now. I made sure I get our two shots in, because he's going to potentially be difficult to pick out if he goes hold down there, and I want to get the punish in while I had the opportunity to. But he seems to be content on, or they seem to be content on just driving out at us, and he's unfortunately got caught out in the open there, and is now on a one shot, so which is good for me, and I'm hoping if I can try and take care of this tank, because he's going to keep us, they're going to keep us proxy spotted all the time when we poke, so I do really need to try and take him out. But unfortunately, it's not possible to get a shot in. But this Panzerjäger is now proper in the open. I'm not going to miss an opportunity to take out a tank like that. So I do dump my clip, and I think it was worth it because that's a hot tank, one tank less tank to worry about right now, especially sort of a stealthy tank like that. We got this. Then we got this UDES 14, and we got this Object 279E. Now that Object 279E is obviously got really good armour and could be a concern for our team. See where he's taking this position. If I wasn't here, he could potentially cause our friendly team bits of problems there. So I'm going to try and get shots into the side where I can. But I found an opportunity to kill another tank, so I took that opportunity to even the score a little bit. But now I have the worst DPM, which is unfortunate. But I can't. I'm not, this is a good thing about the auto reload. At least you have the option to wait, or you can still keep firing. I am choosing to accept that I've got poor DPM at the moment, just because I wanted to get. I don't want to wait all that time to get my shots loaded in while I've got these opportunities to shoot these targets in dangerous positions, and I'm in a position, one of the few positions on our team at the moment who can actually get the shots in, because the rest of our team are all kind of just behind that ridge. They have to kind of proper overextend to get those shots in, so I want to try and get the shots in while I can. It looks like we was able to take out the object, the heavy tank, which is great. But we got to be careful for that when we poke that JK. I do keep getting shots come above my way. Fortunately, so far they seem to be missing, but that might not always be the case. And we've had a pretty decent game. We've got 5,000 damage and 1,500 assistance, but there's still 6 tanks left, and we brought it back to a sort of even to score. And I'm waiting to see if I can get an opportunity to take out that 50T ton, but it's just not quite possible for me at the moment. But it's looking like he's going to just show his turret, and he does, and we managed to take him out, picking ourselves up another kill. Sorry, and just avoiding a shot from the JK line. But now it's a 5 versus 5, and I'm just having a look at the map. I can see one of the heavy tanks is in the middle. There's 3 tanks now on the other side, and the other 1 tank remaining, I'm guessing, is the one which was shooting at me from the JK. So that kind of gives me the intel that I'm going to push over to see if I can help my friendly team against the 3 tanks, which is the biggest threat to our team at the moment. And this 50 FE215B is on full health, which is far from ideal. And unfortunately for me, a lot of my team is actually pretty low on hit points. We've got this E5 as a one-shot, so I really want to try and get this, focus this 215B if I can, to get him low health, so that ideally, if I could have dumped my clip into him, I would have. I wanted to try and get him lower health so that he's potentially one shot to our other, my friendly team. But unfortunately, it wasn't to be. I kind of couldn't get any shots in there, which wasn't ideal. And like I see that E5's one shot, the I7's a one shot. All my friendly teammates left with me on a one shot. So this is going to be a difficult one because there's a lot more hit points left on the enemy team. Although it is a 4v4, like I say, they've got a lot more hit points. I'm just trying to work out angles at the moment. I don't want to go too far and allow this 215P. If I leave and then he just overpokes and kills the E5, it's kind of one of those situations. Do I relocate to try and get a different approach, or do I stay close to my friendly team in the E5 to try and get some shots in? The I7 at the moment is kind of looking on the field, so I guess that's helpful because at least I'm going to know if something. He'll probably get out spotted, to be fair, but at least if he dies or maybe he spots something, at least I'll give me some intel where the enemy team are coming from. The E5's back down to this side of the ridge. He's doing his best to try and stay safe because, like I say, he's on a one shot. Probably a good idea to fall back to where he is. And I just haven't quite found the opening I'm looking for, and I've got to be careful. It looks like this Barras is going around, and when you've got no light tanks in, the Barras is obviously a very dangerous tank. But the 215B is overextended, and now I've got an opportunity to dump my shots in. I missed one of them, which is a shame, but I do get 2 in, but I eat 1 in return. But at least now he's clippable to me, I'll be able to clip that guy out if we pen all our shots. Shame we couldn't get all 3 penned then, because that would have been really helpful. And yeah, unfortunately I do eat one in return, which is not ideal, but we still got enough hit points to at least eat one shot. Maybe not from one of the TDs, but at least from the heavy tank and the brass. But now it is a 2 versus 4, and our E5 has got no health. But we've got an opportunity to get some shots into 2115B. Unfortunately, we left him on 44 health, which is a real shame. If we could have just got that one last shot in, or about a shot earlier would have gone in, that would have been ideal. The E5's doing its best to try and survive, and I'm trying to get my clip reloaded now, so I can get shots into this Barras, because that thing just flying around is going to be really, really awkward, because it's going to keep us lit. And then I just spotted a shot coming over from the top of that hill, which is obviously going to be one of those tank destroyers, so I can no longer stay there. He didn't get spotted as he fired either, so I'm not too sure what it is, but it's obviously got some okay camo, or some pretty decent camo. I'm looking to try and get one shot in, to try and help out my E5. Unfortunately, I missed a shot on the full sending Barras, but we are able to take him out, but bringing it back to a 2 versus 2. But yeah, trying to keep this E5 safe is awkward now. Now I'm on that reload, and yeah, unfortunately, he does get taken out, and which has now put me in a 1 versus 3 scenario. Now at this point, I'm thinking, I'm going to try and lose my spot and get behind this house. Unfortunately, as I do it, the TD just manages to squeeze that shot in, which is a real shame, because now being on that one shot, I can't eat a shot anymore, and I was hoping I was going to be able to eat a shot to kill the heavy tank, and now I can't do that. And yeah, that could be a problem, because I know there's that TD which was at the JK line as well, and now he's probably the one looking at us, so I probably made a mistake poking there, and I did make a mistake because he's taken me out, and that brings an end to the game. That's a shame. I think if I didn't eat the shot off that original TD, then I might have been able to, take him out, but it is what it is. We've got 5 kills, 7,000 damage, 1,500 assistance, so we still had a good game, even though it was a defeat. We can't win them all. Again, I do apologise that I probably haven't sounded my best on this video, but I thought hopefully I can get the video out and it'll still be worth a watch. So as always, thank you so much for your support, and happy tanking.
Enemy in sight! Hadouken!